one, for instance, you don't vote until you decide if somebody else wants to move anything else. Because that kind of happened where you moved one item, you voted on it to receive and place on file all of the rest, and then you voted again to remove something else and put it on for the next meeting. So if, you can ask the person who made the original motion if they would mind adding that. That's a friendly, then it's not really an amendment. That could help too.
Okay. Mr. Grieb, you have a follow-up?
Yes, Tom Grieve, 110 Third Drive. Just a quick follow-up. The reason a roll call vote is so helpful, and I really think it only needs to be in new business and old business for the reason stated. But the one that was confusing last meeting was a 3-3-1 vote, which in which the motion failed, and the chair did not ask for abstentions, which there was one of, which confused, I think, everybody, at least everybody around me. A roll call vote would not only have protected against that, but we would have identified who the abstention was so we understood what was going on. Some of these votes are very, very critical in terms of who abstains, et cetera, because it makes a difference, as it did that time. That's why I think a roll call vote is extremely important for transparency. Thank you.
Mr. Gleason?
I'll change the subject a little bit. I would love to be able to sit here and talk like this instead of have to do this all the time, because I think half the problem is the acoustics in this room. And if you don't think about where you are at the microphone, people in the back row aren't going to hear you. So I would think that a brand name like Shure probably has a 18-inch microphone that they could provide us with. I could pull it back here, but then I'm running out of desk space, so I'll just put in my pitch for
Longer microphone.
longer microphones. Thank you.
All right. So no motions on that. We're gonna do better. That's all. Okay. Next up, new business number 5, a discussion for the town to consider installing telephone pole banners on Park Avenue. Ms. Blank.
Thank you very much. I put this on just for discussion. I wanted to hear from the town. While driving through a separate town up in Massachusetts that I hadn't been in before, they had very simple banners up on the telephone poles with the name that we were driving through and local veterans, since it was near Memorial Day. It had both helped know what town I was passing through, and I also loved the pride it showed for that community. Nearby towns have also done this, and it always looks great to me. I've met people visiting our town that have stated they didn't even realize that they were in Portsmouth, which I feel is so unfortunate. Just because so many of the signs we have around here say Newport, or as they're driving up, misses the Portsmouth signs. And I had looked in to just kind of get an idea of what that pricing would be, just for the street pole brackets, and it's approximately $50 each. And I assume that there would be a price break at larger quantities. I am absolutely open to hear other possible locations, but thought that Park Ave would be a good place to consider, since we have, it's a very scenic view, it's a town road, and it has sidewalks.
Park Avenue is a state highway.
Do we own anything?
Yes.
What do we own?
Anything that is not East Main, West Main, Boyd's Lane, Middle, half the Middle, Union Street,
You're
Sprague
near the
Street.
town.
Park Avenue,
Anything with a
half of
vowel.
Anthony Road, Schoolhouse. Did I get them all? I think I got most of
We
them.
own Headley. I didn't know that.
We own Headley. It's nicely newly paved.
The paving is really nice there.
Oh, Bristol Ferry. I missed the Bristol Ferry and Turnpike. Sorry, I missed those.
I don't even own Bristol Ferry.
No,
Blaine.
I did Boyd's Lane.
I-
I did Boyd's Lane.
Requested a list of streets that were town-owned and had sidewalks, and I thought Park Ave was on that list.
That would be 0.0. I think.
Do you have any
But,
suggestions?
Mr. Talipsky can help you.
No road.
Mr. Talipsky did a very long study into being able to hang banners on poles and light poles might be easier in Island Park specifically. I believe, and Mr. Talipsky or Mr. Rayner can correct me if I'm wrong, but there are levels of which you have to jump through hoops because the poles belong to National Grid, Verizon, or somebody else. So that you can't put them in certain spots where they can't actively get to fixing lines and all that fun stuff. But
I think it's a good opportunity just to help create some pride in our town, showcase some of the community members, some events that we might have going on. We have some great history, highlight veterans or seniors that are graduating, and possibly promote local engagement.
I think it's a great idea, but I would ask you to work with Mr. Talipsky, who did a pretty extensive study looking at it for the PBA, Portsmouth Business Association.
I do have a comment.
Mr. Reese.
It's a neighborhood community and I think we should move carefully. I think if you were gonna do that, to see if the neighborhoods would like that sort of thing, should have a public hearing to give the neighbors that live in that area a choice to see what kind of, banner they'd like, or if they want them or don't want them. They may not
Sure.
want to do that. So I think if we were gonna move forward with that before we go and.
Well, I think the first step is
Yeah, that it was.
doing all the
But
research first.
yeah,
to
that's a
see what it
great
does.
idea. Get some prices, find out some subject matter, and is it something you change out every once in a while?
Whatever the town wants. I work for the town. Whatever the people want,
You're a highly paid
No,
town
you work for
employee.
the citizens, you don't work for the town.
work for the citizens.
Mr. Gleason.
Just one other thing is we might want to look at the sign ordinance and see how that affects it, the issue as well. The one we have in existence and future.
Understood.
That's all you got. So would you like to make a motion that you start an investigation to look into this, or you just want to do this on ad hoc with staff, which is fine?
I'll just work with the staff.
Okay.
And
Everybody,
then bring it-
everybody's okay with that, and then bring it back and
Yeah,
what you,
and
your
then bring it
findings
back.
and all
But,
that good stuff.
yeah, just wanted to do the discussion on it, get feedback, hear what hurdles we're capable of putting in front of ourselves, because we are good at that.
Well, we don't always put all the hurdles. The state puts a bunch with us, so. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Next up, a request to establish a bike and pedestrian advisory committee. Ms. Hitchin, there she is.
I'll speak slow.
And close to the microphone, please.
It won't come this close. Good evening, President Hamilton and members of the council. Town Administrator Rich Rayner and I had the opportunity to work with a group of eager residents to form a Bike and Pedestrian Advisory Committee, also known as a Safe Streets Committee. So we had worked on a memo that they had given us earlier this year, and I put together a high-level resolution that is in your packet, creating what I called a bike and pedestrian advisory committee to keep it consistent with what other local municipalities, particularly Middletown and Newport, South Kingston, other Rhode Island communities have created and established a bike and pedestrian advisory committee. Basically, we have so many documents, comp plans, safe streets, plans. Our comprehensive community plan speaks to so many policies, actions for the encouragement and alternative modes of travel. So I do think that it's time that a committee of this nature is formed, and that is what we are all in agreement on. I did tweak some of the suggestions from the May letter that they wrote and thought that it was mostly appropriate that it was an advisory committee that talks directly to you as opposed to suggesting comments for planning board, design review committee. But I did put together a purpose, committee role and responsibilities. And originally, the letter that they put together does go into all like the types of officers of the committee, the meetings, special meetings, parliamentary procedures, quorums. That's something that, once the committee is formed, they can formulate on their own. But I think staff here and the residents that want to formulate this committee, we're all on the same page that it's a good committee to form, and we're all willing to work together with this group, and I think it's a good thing. So I can quickly go through what I have put together, their roles and responsibilities, which is advise the town council on policies related to walking and biking, provides a forum for residents, schools, businesses, and advocacy groups to share input, promote safety, education, and awareness initiatives, identify and support applications for local, state, federal, and private funding opportunities, provide input on the annual STIP, as we talk about that on an annual basis. And there's multiple policies in element 10, which is our transportation element, which I just break out in my memo, which is advocate for the development of a comprehensive bicycle and pedestrian master plan, work with the state and regional partners to preserve our Newport Secondary Railroad right-of-way, which has been discussed in the newspapers lately. Develop a program to establish network of safe walking paths and/or sidewalks on all collector roads within certain distances between our schools in town, and work with DOT to provide sidewalks or a multi-mode path and crosswalks on East and West Main roads where appropriate and feasible, with special attention to public transit stops. I've just noted for membership that there be 7 members appointed by the town council, and that they all be members of residents of Portsmouth. I think that's very important. Other than that, I don't really find it's my opinion to opine on where they're from. And my recommendation is that adoption be approved by you, so we can align ourselves with other Aquinic Island communities, best practices in community planning, enhance public safety and connectivity, and demonstrate that there is a town's commitment to active transportation and quality of life. So that's all I have to really say about that. I know there's specific residents that have another letter. If they would like to speak to that, then they can provide their thoughts. I'll just step aside.
Sure. Any questions for the planner before she leaves? Ms. McCall?
No, not a question, but I remember back, I think it was in April, when Emily and Michael came to office hours with with these thoughts and wanted to do a proposal, and I had said to, get it together and present to town council. And I saw it on the agenda, then it was pulled. I am just so grateful that you hooked up with Leah and worked this out so that you could have something like this, a very professional, bike and pedestrian advisory committee, which kind of piggybacks on the other communities on the island. So I thank you for doing all the work on that. And Leah, I thank you for working with them, because at the time when we spoke, they were, didn't know what direction to go. So I think that was great that they hooked up with you. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the council? Hannah? Would you like to come up first, or Emily? I don't know which one of you wants to come up first. And I believe part of the reason you weren't here before is because you couldn't travel. Is that what it was?
Yes, I just had a baby in
Yes,
June.
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully she's asleep right now.
Well, the good news is you're here if she's not.
Yes, exactly. She has a very able father there. But yeah, I'm here if the council has questions. If there's full support, that's great. But I'm here representing, excuse me, my name's Hannah Turner and I'm a resident here of Portsmouth. I'm here representing my fellow potential advisory committee members in what would be this BPAC. We have been meeting monthly. We have, all right, we have slides. Does the council want to see the slides?
Just click on to the next one. There
Okay,
you go.
sure. So, the council has heard many scenarios of what the problems are here in Portsmouth. We have, very unsafe streets, predominantly state-owned, unfortunately, but as a town, we can come together and think about how we can make these streets safer for our residents, as we are the ones who have to travel on them every day. We've seen that there is a crash every 2.5 days on our town roads, and we had 2 bus crashes here in September. So speed is an issue just for cars, and it's more of an issue if you're on a bike or walking. Personally, I live less than a half a mile from church, but cannot walk there because I live on East Main Road, which is unsafe for a family. And we've also had many solutions that have been presented to the council. I think one was presented in June by a employee of Tool Design, and she presented several strategies and actions that the council could take for improving pedestrian and bike safety here in the town. And we think as a committee, we could help with strategy 3, bringing along a community commitment and doing some education around our schools and using the combined expertise of the lovely humans behind me. Next slide. As we've said, we would work with our town planner to promote citizen education, help inform the council on any funding opportunities, and most importantly, create a coordination with the other towns. Middletown and Newport have BPACs. Portsmouth's the only town without one. And that will enable us to create combined policies on things like e-bikes or these low-speed vehicles that we have on the island, and have a coordinated strategy across all 3 towns. And these are the names of the advocates that have been meeting monthly. We have a broad range of expertise that we hope to bring to the town planner, to further the safety of everyone who lives here and all who pass through. And many of us are parents and are hoping that our children grow up very safely in this town. Leah already spoke to the different responsibilities that we would have as a committee, which we are very excited about and are looking forward to others that might come up through all these other different action plans that have been presented. And that's it. Happy to answer any questions.
Any
Thank you.
questions for Hannah? No? So if the council were to vote to approve the committee, the first step would be to advertise for the positions. Question is how long do we want to advertise them for? Well, we get 3 weeks to the next meeting, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So if we put a deadline in for October 7th, that'll be 7 days before the meeting. I guess about 3 weeks to get. Do you think that's enough time for everybody? Okay. I have a feeling there's 13 people who are going to add on in there anyways. So, okay. Mr. DiPiolo, you have a comment?
Mike DiPaola, 1074 East Main Road. I have a statement, and I reported to the gentleman over there and to the town numerous times. Down Sandy Point, on the way to the beach, it's a steep street. People fly down that road. And in the past, few years ago, I reported some work going on, and Mr. Woodhead approved the curb cut for this particular property. The problem I had was, it wasn't the curb cut. It was on the side of the road, which I believe is still town property. I requested a meeting with him and he has not complied. There was a retaining wall built on the high side of the road, a high side of the driveway, and on the low side of the driveway. So as I've shown pictures of people with strollers walking down the hill, there is no way for them to cross on the grass area. They have to go onto the road, onto incoming traffic. Now, if somebody's walking in the afternoon and you're going up the hill, now you're facing the west side. The sun's in your face, and I've driven up that road a number of times. The sun's in your face, and you can't see the pedestrians walking down, riding their bikes. There's numerous kids going to the beach with either golf carts, e-scooters, regular bikes, baby carriages. And I'm just confused as to how the town allows two retaining walls and
Mr. Keel,
potential,
I'm gonna ask
and
you-
you guys are talking about safe streets.
No, we're asking about a bicycle and pedestrian committee. Are you in favor of having a bicycle and pedestrian committee?
I would just be concerned about that particular location. That's all the statement I'm trying to make. And I would hope
I
that
would
there's
be
not a
concerned
future
about
accident over
A lot of
there.
other things that pertain to you rather than a retaining wall, but we'll move on.
There's a lot of things that pertain to you, and you don't have to make comments about me. You can make comments about yourself. Look in the mirror.
Thank you, Mr. DiPiola. That'll be the last time you speak at a council meeting. Emily Scan, do
That's-
you have a question?
Wait a minute, we can't make that type of decision. You know
Yes,
that.
sir.
Is that true? I can't speak anymore up here? Did I say something derogatory? Did I attack somebody? I'm making a statement concerning safe possibilities for little kids and baby strollers.
And I
and
find it
telling me-
ironic that you do things that make our streets unsafe. So thank you, Mr. DiPiola. We're done.
Am I able to speak again, Gio?
Look, I think the point here is that we're on a topic, and this conversation needs to remain germane to the topic, which
That's
is
fine.
the appointment of a Safe Streets Commission. I'm not prepared to answer any question, not.
But I believe I should be able
relevant
to
that
speak
topic.
again on a different topic. Thank you.
Mr. Gleason.
Okay, question for either Mr. Rayner or Ms. Hitchens. Do you feel that the committee will suffice with just 7 members? I mean, seems like this committee could benefit from more members. You know, I don't know if limiting it helps. I'll just combine it with my other question. How do you feel this committee compares to a solid waste recycling committee or a Parks and Recs committee? Are they one and the same kind of committee? Or is there a difference between this one? I only ask because there's a resolution involved and I've never really seen a resolution with a committee, you know?
I've never seen a resolution with a committee either.
Right.
So let's go back to the members. Do you think you need more members?
I think once you get past 7 people, it gets
Too many hands in
many
the pot.
unwielding. And then also, if you start having absences, you start losing your quorum and you're not able to have meetings.
Sure.
So once you get too big, it becomes a little,
And for those that are still interested, can still attend their
Yes.
meetings.
Absolutely. I just think that well, just my opinion, that you would probably find more interest if people had a say at the table, you know, with what they were bringing, with their recommendations and their input.
They can still attend the meetings. They've already put up in their backup that, and they're already know that this committee is forming, so they're gonna submit their letters of interest to the council. They have the most interest, so I can imagine that they're gonna get their letters in quite quickly. I think any more than 7 is just too much.
My only concern is, we know we're going to have at least 7 people from this list, and we're eliminating other people within the town by already targeting 7.
but that's up to the council to dig.
No,
through and
I
decide.
agree. It's up
Yeah.
to the council, but I think you're eliminating more more voting participants.
Well, let Hannah put her
I
2
think
cents
I
in.
just, I get concerned when we get too big and you start losing quorums. It's happened in other committees. It just gets a little bit dicey.
And I would just add, many of the people on the list, we've been meeting remotely. And this committee would follow the Open Meetings Act and we would meet in person. And that would mean some of the members on the list who are able to meet remotely are unable to meet due to the fact that they have families, young families at home that need them. So while there are 12 people that have been meeting, it doesn't mean that all 12 of those will apply because some of them are busy without, with their families. So,
But
yeah.
just so you know, we do have committees that do, remote meetings as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
How,
So
what are the other sizes that you're thinking of?
Sorry?
I think small is great.
Well, off the top of my head, the committee that Tom is on, how many we have on the Harbor Commission, excuse me, going right over my head.
The only way we get Prudence Island people in.
Yeah.
Sometimes for the winter.
How big is your committee?
But how many people on the committee? So there's 12 on that committee, for example.
Too many, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
odd
thank you.
numbers are helpful for votes.
Okay, thank you. So the other question is it like a regular town committee?
Yes, just a regular advisory
To
committee.
consider them a normal committee.
Yeah, you just pick two of them, but yeah, Parks and Rec Committee, the
Sure.
only thing that would be different is the Harbor Commission because they have different.
So they're going to form
Abilities.
bylaws and do the same as any other committee?
Yes, the first step would be to
Yep.
appoint the folks, then they would have a meeting. Then they would discuss their bylaws and then bring them back to the council. We would approve said bylaws or make changes if we need to, and then they would roll forward after that.
Thank you.
Mr. Grebe?
Tom Grieve, 110 Thayer Drive. I'm a member of the Harbor Commission. I wanted to bring that up because we have 12, or we allow 12 members. I think we've got 11 at the moment. And we work, I think, very, very well. And one of our jobs is to look at rights of way. This allows us to make the 87 rights of way in town a small job for the 11 people that are there as opposed to what it would be with ownership. But there are reasons, especially if you're going to be looking at routes and so forth, that you might want to have more people than less people. And if it doesn't work out, as people drop off, you don't replace them and you change your bylaws. But I would think that a lot of people helping at the beginning would be a good thing rather than a bad thing. It works at the Harbor Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Grebe. Any other comments, questions? Is there a motion to approve the standing and advertisement of a pedestrian and bike safety committee or bicycle and pedestrian advisory committee?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Ms. Hitchin, you're up again. Next up, we have a discussion of the next steps for a working draft for revisions to the sign ordinance, which the next step is to refer this to the planning committee for their thoughts, comments, and any changes that they would like to make, and then bring it back to the council at a later date.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to present to you the revised sign ordinance, chapter 405, article 9, section B. The working draft of the sign ordinance, which myself, Aaron Lindo, and our consultant Weston and Sampson have been working on for quite a while. I have broken it up with a working revision and a clean revision. The existing ordinance is in your packet, as well as the procedures as to how to, the process involved with amending and approving the sign ordinance. I can give you a high level of some of the changes. You're not interested?
Well, I am interested, yes.
Okay.
But it's a large piece of ordinance to go through.
Mhm.
And it's been my practice that the planning board may do something, the planning board may do nothing.
Mhm.
And to allow them to make their discussions and decisions and then bring it back to us once it's been changed either by them or not.
Mhm.
So we don't have to reinvent the wheel twice.
I think
But
it's,
I appreciate the fact that it's out now
yes,
rather than here it is on Thursday or Wednesday and we're coming back on Monday to vote on it. So
Mhm.
this is going to be out for a good few months for people to be able to review it. Planning board reviews it, comes back to the council, and we'll have a full public hearing on it.
absolutely.
it's the
That's,
easiest way.
that's the way it needs to go.
So I think the only motion that we would need is a motion to send this to the planning board for their review and comments. Ms. McDowell?
I'm just wondering, has legal gone through this too? Our legal
Legal help
counsel?
draft it, yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
she.
We have sent it to our solicitors and it's in the process of being reviewed with the ACLU.
Thank you.
Mr. President, make a motion to send it to the planning board, who will prepare an advisory opinion within 45 days after receiving the proposal, giving its findings and recommendations.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you, Ms. Hitchin.
Thank you.
I just want to make one quick comment. I forgot to mention it earlier. Those of you who are normally here on a regular basis for a council meeting, in the second meeting, normally we would see our our monthly finance report. We didn't have one this month because of a vacation. We will have two. Or we have both of them coming up in the second meeting, or one in the first meeting, one in the second.
One the first meeting, and then we'll be back on track in the second meeting.
Okay. Now it's just because of vacation, which is well deserved. Next up, we have correspondence, which is our monthly RIRAC report, and an application and submission for approval to open up our adult use cannabis licenses within the state.
Motion to receive and place on file?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. And our future meetings are October 14th, which is a Tuesday because of the Columbus Day holiday, October 27th, and then November 10th, and then the 24th, which would be the Monday before Thanksgiving, correct? No further business. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.